Good evening.
Good evening.
Once again, it's a privilege to stand before you this evening in the absence of Steve while he's on vacation. Turn with me to Psalms chapter 34 and verse 4. It's nice to come into a building that's air conditioned, the fans are going. It's like, okay, this is cool. I'm sure some of you could probably remember back in the days where they didn't have air conditioning, and you went into the church building and the windows were open, and it's like, okay, it would probably be better to be outside. But thank God that we can come into a building that during the summer it's cool, during the winter it's warm. All right, Psalms chapter 34 and verse 4. My lesson is how to overcome fear. How to overcome fear. I sought the Lord, and He heard me, and delivered me from all my fears. I was reading earlier on a different version, and the other version said, I sought the Lord, and He answered me. So this, I like to read from the New King James version. So fear and unrest are ever present in the world. Fear is an enemy of Christians. The followers of Christ today have fear for the body. We have fear of sickness. We have fear for the mind, fear of poverty, and fear of losing our jobs. Most of all, we have fear of temptation. Fear is a consequence, or the fear of the consequence of wrongdoing. Fear of loneliness. Fear of old age. We have fear of the past, fear of the things present, and the fear of things to come. Most people, if you ask them, they have the fear of death. A lot of people are afraid to die. I can honestly say that I'm not afraid to die, because I know when I do die, I'll be with Christ. I'll be with those ones who went before me. We can read about all these people in the Bible. I look forward to the day that I can look at Christ in the face. And I look forward to that day of Christ saying, well done, good and lawful servant. It brings tears to my eyes to think of that day. Yes, I don't want Charlotte to be alone, but I do look forward to that day. I want to be with Him. I want to be with my brothers and sisters in Christ. We could add fear of not being saved, of enemies, and fear of trials. What is fear? What is fear? According to Webster, fear is a painful emotion marked by alarm, dread, and disquiet. Also an instant of this feeling. There are many children of God that are consequently beset with a dread of disdain. This should not be. Where have we failed in this manner? Where have we failed? We should be giving a positive note that when we do die, We're going to be with him. We're going to be with our brothers and sisters. And what joy that will be. Question: what do you fear? Do you fear any of the things we've already mentioned? Is there any place in our life of a child of God for these fears? Is there any place in life of a child of God for these fears? Turn with me to 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7 reads, "Casting all your cares upon him, for he cares for you." John chapter 14 and verse 1. John chapter 14 and verse 1 reads, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me." Philippians chapter 4 and verses 4 through 7. Philippians chapter 4 verses 4 through 7 reads, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again I say rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to all men. The Lord is at hand. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and by supplication with thanksgiving. Let your request be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and minds through Christ Jesus." We are to let our everything be known to God. We need to go to God and let him know our feelings, let him know our fears, our joys. We should be a praying Christians. Next question: why do you fear? Why do you fear? Fear is brought about by lack of faith. When the disciples were with Christ in the boat and the storm came up and they were afraid. Matthew chapter 8 verse 25 reads, that's Matthew chapter 8 verse 25. Then his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, "Lord, save us, we are perishing." Jesus said, "Why are you afraid, O you of little faith?" That was in Matthew chapter 8, verse 26. Where there is trust, there is no fear. Isaiah chapter 12 and verse 2. Isaiah chapter 12 and verse 2 reads, "Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. For yea, the Lord is my strength and song. He also has become my salvation." Where there is true love, there is no fear. 1 John chapter 4 and verse 18. That's 1 John chapter 4 and verse 18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear involves torment. But he who fears has not been made perfect. How to overcome fear. How to overcome fear. We must realize that God did not give us fear. God never gave us fear. 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7 reads, that's 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but the power and of love and of sound mind." We should go to God for all our needs. We should go to God for all of our needs. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 6. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 6 reads, Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be known to God. Let your requests be known to God. I'd like to read for you a hymn. We need faith as is expressed in this hymn. Oh, for a faith. Oh, for a faith that will not shrink. Through pressed by every foe, that will not trouble on the brink of any earthly woe. That all not murmur or complain beneath the chastening rod, but in the hour of grief or pain will lean upon its God. Lord, give me such a faith as this, and then whatever may come will taste even here the hallowed blessed of the eternal home. I come to you now asking if anyone here is in need to be baptized, or those of us who maybe we need to come to the church. If we've done something wrong, maybe now is the time to come forward and say, I've done this wrong. Or if there's something troubling us, now's the time. I'm going to ask as we stand and sing.